Cyberpunk 2077.
Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah.
You know, we have the sound bites for that.
There it is. Cyberpunk 2077.
What's happening with Cyberpunk 2077? Well, they got freaking sued.
Yeah, let's clarify that for sure. I thought I read something yesterday that the suit passed or they lost the suit. But we're gonna double check that real quick. Cyberpunk 2077 was getting sued by a marketing company, wasn't it?
It was investors. They're investors.
For marketing investors, though, wasn't it?
No,
Let
the
me see.
investors that invested money into them to...
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And they thought they got misled about the game's polish. I'd say it's a finished game, just not a polished game.
Oh, it's
but,
definitely a finished game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just
needs a little
it
touch
was,
up
it was
here.
buggy, dude. It was
Yeah.
buggy. Come on.
And I've like just recently been starting to get into bugs.
Yeah, none. Well, you had one slightly game-breaking thing, but it fixed pretty off.
Yeah,
pretty soon.
I figured it out.
So I'm reading here. This was updated. This was updated on the 24th. So they had a class action lawsuit filed. CDA projects. Seeking recovery damage. Investors under the federal. So yeah. So like you said. I'm trying to see if there's anything in here. What's funny though is like they still made so much money off of that game, you know. They sold over 13 million copies. And regrouped the entire development like cost. Like they made the money back that it took to make the game in the first like fucking week.
Yeah, they made a ton.
Even with the refunds, they still made more money than what they thought. But yeah, they're getting sued, man. I can't find. These are all pretty old because of Christmas, you know.
It seems like.
Oh wait, here we go.
Here's my problem with them is that it just seems like, oh, we're suing you because you didn't deliver this game, or you said it was more polished than it actually was. But isn't that kind of on their part of? We didn't look that much into it. We just saw it was getting a lot of rep. And we're like, yeah, hey, if we put money in this, we might get some out of it. That's all their interest is. It's never about the game.
Right, of
So
course, yeah.
Do you think they just kind of went into it thinking it was going to do well, and then it comes out, and then the public...
It did do well, though.
It did do well, but like the public's like, oh, this is awful, and they just perceive that as, oh, well, this didn't do that well. Now we gotta... Maybe we can like hit them with a lawsuit and get more money out of it, and maybe they didn't get their return. But
my guess is they didn't get their return. They thought they were expecting to make more money, or maybe they did get close to it, and then the refunds started coming in, and now they're like, well, fuck, we're not gonna get our return now. And if the game was finished, they wouldn't be offering refunds.
I saw something. I saw an article that somebody was making fun of how, because the developers usually, and this is how it usually always is, the developers are trying to make the game, the corpos are usually trying to rush it to get it out there as soon as possible, just to make the money. And
Anthem?
yeah,
Anybody?
what was funny about that is if this is that same situation, then it's kind of ironic how the game is about fighting corporations and stuff like that. And
Now they're getting sued by a corporation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess they're. This article is just saying the same thing. So they got issued a class action lawsuit, and then it goes into Cyberpunk breaking down, or CD Projekt breaking down
I also saw something. Is Cyberpunk not out on the next gen consoles yet?
Yeah, it is.
Are you sure?
Yeah, why wouldn't it be? Is it not?
Because I thought when I was reading a different article, it was this article about the
Yeah,
lawsuit.
it's on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC. And well, they took it off of PlayStation.
Yeah.
It's on the original Xbox.
Okay. Because I thought I saw something in the article that said, uh, we'll see how it goes on the Series X and the PlayStation 5. That could mean that they.
Oh, the reason they're saying that is because nobody has the fucking consoles. There's not enough people out there playing it on the new consoles for people to be like, oh, it's running awesome on the Xbox Series X compared to how many people are running it on the Xbox One.
Mhm.
That's what they mean. That's what they mean by like, we'll see how it does on the new consoles. But by that time that people have those consoles out and they're doing that, by the time the consoles are out
Yeah,
and
if you
everybody
ruin
has the
this video.
consoles, yeah, pretty much. Every time that they have the consoles, I think the game will be fixed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not going to matter. The people who are really going to get into this game are the people who sit there and wait and play through the bugs. I mean, yeah, those are the people that wanted this game for the beginning anyways and are like, it sucks. Don't get me wrong. Bugs suck, and it shouldn't be released like that. There's still no excuse for that. But like, just delay it again. But they didn't want to. I don't think they wanted to delay it again because they kept promising that it wasn't going to get delayed.
That's something on them. They shouldn't have promised it then. That much of like, we promise
Oh
it's
yeah,
not going to get
I
delayed. We
agree.
promise. It's
I
like,
don't think anybody should be like. Nowadays, I don't think you should be putting stagnant release dates on things because
Well-
people get so angry when you properly have to be like, as a company, be like, guys, we can't release it. It's not finished. They're not doing that to like piss off the people, their fans and the people who want to play the game. They're doing it so that people who want to play the game have a better game to play. The developers don't. I mean, yeah, they're working for money. Don't get me wrong, but I think a majority of developers, from what I've seen and what I've heard, is they care so much less about the paycheck that they're getting, and they care so much more about the art form that they're creating.
Well, it's important too that if it's a good product, they have to put their name on it. That when it goes out there, and it's a bad game, their name's on it. They might get blacklisted from the gaming community.
Yeah,
Not,
I mean,
but
look
like
at
for
EA. I mean, EA still gets millions and millions of copies sold, but like EA is known to release games that just aren't good.
copy and paste right now.
Yeah, so it's like, it's hard for EA to like then, back a game or make a game and then it do insanely well because the majority of players are just going to be like, I don't even want a chance buying it. And this game was, Cyberpunk was CD Projekt, which kind of is, I guess, why they're getting this class action lawsuit sent on them. But I mean, this game was buggy, and everybody's like, well, Witcher 3 was really buggy. Witcher 3 was not buggy to the point that Cyberpunk was buggy.
Yeah, I think what game companies need to do to avoid this problem, but I know it's super hard because they're gonna push deadlines. Stop freaking, like, when you guys just think it's about to be done, don't start the marketing point.
Oh, they got to though, because the thing about marketing is that pulls in money for development. Because if they open pre-orders, development opens faster. You can hire more people to make it or do that shit too.
Yeah, but the movie industry doesn't do anything like that. They just set the money of like what they need from the studio. They're like, okay, hey, we think we can make this movie with this budget. They go in with that budget. They just do what they can. If they need more, sometimes they'll go in and ask more. And then when the movie's done, they're like, okay, now let's make the ad. Now let's go out and promote this movie. There won't be any delay. They're pulling clips from the finished product to show, hey, this is what it's gonna look like, this is what it's gonna be, and then you guys need to come in and make your own opinion. Whereas video games, it's just gonna be this, like Cyberpunk. They weren't done. They had to keep delaying, and then when they're like, okay, we can't delay anymore because we kept promising, whatever we have to put out. That's going to be the end product right now. Not the end product, but the starting product.
Yeah,
and I get that a lot of this stuff doesn't come up on their end until it's out in the public when you're testing it
you have
on
a majority of people. But games are a lot different than movies. I get it, they're both in the entertainment field, but a movie is released finished. Games will, like you said, you don't technically know if a game's finished until you have millions of people playing it all at the same time on different consoles, on different rigs, on different settings, different internets. I mean, that is when you truly find out if the game is finished. Plus, the cost of a game is like 3 times the cost of making a movie.
Yeah.
So that's why I think they market it early. Because like I said, you market it, you open pre-orders a year or months before, and people who down pre-orders, I don't understand that. Like, if you don't want to buy a pre-order, don't buy a pre-order, but don't shit on a company for releasing pre-orders. It's not the company trying to steal your money. If you're gonna get the game anyways, dude, I've owned New World for almost 2 years, and I've never played it except for the preload. But I know as soon as it drops, I'm gonna play it anyways. So now I don't have to worry about it. Plus, I gave the money to the company to make my game better. I mean, I don't see the need in that, but I mean, I'm looking here. Red Dead Redemption costed $109 million just to make. So, plus several $1 million in marketing. So I guess they're still paying for the marketing, but that money that they're pulling in from pre-orders is insane. And I feel like that helps development. I just think the biggest thing is companies shouldn't, like you said, just don't make stagnant. Don't make release dates like December 25th.
I think if they extend even further than what they're expecting, don't try and like
just say it's gonna come out in like spring of 2021.
Yeah,
that's what New World did, because they know that like they're still producing. They've given us flat dates before, and they haven't hit any flat dates because the game's not done. But the game's super fun. Like, you can play it, but the players that are playing it are saying like, don't release this game yet, because if you release this game now, people are gonna get bored. They're not gonna play it. And maybe games should do that more often.
Yeah.
Release big alphas, true alphas, not fucking game previews. Like an alpha where the game is buggy and shitty for free, and let people play it for a week. And all that feedback that you're going to receive from that week is going to help you determine if you release the game or not release the game. It's going to keep you from getting sued. It's gonna, yeah, you got to wait a little longer. Yeah, you're going to get little fucking third graders sending death threats, which is like stupid. But
yeah, you're going to get that.
I don't know. I feel like there's ways of avoiding this kind of stuff. I like the game. I think the game's awesome. Like I said earlier, people who play through the bugs and deal with the bugs are going to be the ones who I think are rewarded the best, because those are... And then the people months later that end up getting the new consoles whenever they fix this stocking thing, which I don't think is ever going to go away at this point unless they do legislation on bot programs. But once everybody gets their hands on it and they're playing it and the game's fixed, the kids and the guys who are playing it they're going to have a full game, and they're never going to have to worry about it. So
right.
Those guys are going to really enjoy it too. But I haven't had any problems. The only thing I wish I had is a better computer to play it on, because I'm not playing it at full graphics. But dude, it sucks. They might not even... I can't find anything here that says if they lost it or what's happening with that. So they might not even get sued for it. I mean, they could just go through court and then they'd be like, you know what I mean?
Nah. Yeah.
So, if you want to play it though, the game's fucking badass. I recommend playing it.
Yeah, it's still...
It's not a game I would miss. Trust me.
I wouldn't buy it for the
No, I want to buy it for the old consoles.
Old consoles, just the if you have a new one or you have a PC that can run it. I recommend it. This is like the first game I still feel like I didn't waste money on or
This year.
Yeah, this year.